I'm Sean. This is my lovely Warehouse of Doom project. My father and I bought this warehouse hoping to turn it into a really neat workshop. It's been neglected for probably 10-ish years. It used to be owned by a agricultural company, and now it's owned by us, and we're trying to rehab it into a really neat workshop with a little bit of video production studio on the side. So, first things first is to show you where we are starting from. So, we are starting from a 5,000 square foot warehouse that is 50 by 100 feet. We got a couple of roll-up doors here and a whole bunch of lights. Some of them work, some of them don't. And we have this overgrown area here, and that is actually a fenced-in area with really nothing inside of it. So, neat and all, but not particularly usable in its current incarnation. This is the vines that are around the side, and then we have what apparently used to be a little outdoor semi-enclosed area where they had compressed air. I'm guessing probably they were doing spray painting or something like that. And over there farther is lights where the electricity comes in, all that good stuff. So now, oh wow, I've been looking for this for ages. It turns out that I actually have a water hose spigot. Oh, this is going to get useful. I got a pressure washer that's been begging for that thing. All right, so I have referred to this place as a warehouse of doom / horrors in the past, and let me show you why. It's because it looks like something out of a B-grade horror movie. And right all the way down to how you get in. Padlocked with a chain, and give it a good yank, and it swigs open. Does this not look like there's a guy with a chainsaw right on the other side waiting for you? So we're going to do a little bit more of the grounds tour before we go inside, but make no mistake about it, we are going inside. So, they used to do a lot of welding in this place. I think that it was actually used as a workshop for maintaining facilities for the agricultural company. And by the way, before anyone starts thinking I've got a bunch of rust here, it actually isn't. This is peeling paint. The best I could figure is that some brilliant individual thought that it would be real pretty to paint it up like a little red barn on this side so that the train, which goes over there, can see a red barn as it goes by. Yeah, okay. I think that's kind of silly. So, the lights up top don't work. I'd like to get that fixed because a single incandescent there right above the door just doesn't do it for security. And then we go over here. This is the front of the building, well, the side of the building that would normally be faced by folks. Well, I got a beetle deciding to tag me for no apparent reason. Came up, hit my arm, flew away. So, here we have another couple of lights, and you know, since I got the place and I turned those on, security has been considerably better here at night. I've actually gotten commentary from people at the building next door that they feel a lot safer. So this is a good thing. And let's see. So here is another one of those lights that is on all the time. I want to get a photocell on this thing. Either that, or it actually looks like there might be a photocell in this cap that just isn't working. Yeah, I'm going to send the camera up there for a little recon, huh? Alright. Well, I'll look at that footage later and see what I uncovered. This is the another one of the scary horror movie doors here. Nothing that a whole lot of scraping and new paint wouldn't fix. And then over here, I don't know whether that was what situation happened with the glass, but That's a plate of steel bolted in on the other side, so clearly people aren't going to be seeing through that. And then up here, we have what used to be an awning, and apparently it got ripped off. We got vines growing through and into the building here, and that's fun. That's something I'm currently working on. And we have definitely some inadequate drainage here on the ground. I'm not going to show you the building next door because, well, it's not my building and I feel like they deserve some privacy. So this is my parking lot, which becomes a lovely swamp when there's rain. This is, after all, Alabama. Last time we had a reasonable amount of rain, my daughter and I were out here. She's 5. She was having fun jumping in the puddles, and I was out here with a shovel excavating channels to get this low-lying drainage area to actually flow into the storm drain over here. Go figure. Out here, a storm drain is exactly that. It's a drain for storms. So, now we are getting towards the inside. Now, you're not quite going to be seeing this place in the same way that it was when I first got it. That's because I have done a little bit of work in here already. So, this is the inside of my warehouse, and as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. We're going to do a little guided tour with one camera and have the wide view with the static one back here. And so what I'm doing here is setting up my nifty little workshop and little chintzy video production studio for messing around with stuff. I've been interested in video ever since I was a teenager, and I helped my wife with it when she was doing her cooking show a while back, and got all this gear laying around that's currently not being used. So the deal is that I've never worked on anything like this. I am a computer programmer and systems administrator by trade. I don't actually know what I'm doing here, and it is likely that this will be amusing for people who know what they're doing and probably informative for people who don't. Do not take what I say as any kind of experienced voice telling you how to do things, but I'm probably going to learn a ton of lessons when things go wrong here, and you can learn vicariously through me as I blow things up so that you don't. All right, so first off, when I moved from California to here, I bought a trailer and a big old Ford F-350 in order to tow it. So problem is that the deck is untreated, and I just got that resolved with some asphalt fence paint. Yes, the kind of asphalt that you have on the road, but it's got some paint in it, so it's not quite as sticky. It's still a little bit sticky, but not as sticky as just straight up slathering asphalt. So we got 2 roll-up doors. These are not horrors. They're actually rather nice. The one you use a pull chain on, and the other one you just use a rope on. Let's get a good solid look around. As you can see, I'm still in the process of settling things in. Illumination, a large amount of the illumination in here comes from the skylights during the day, and then at night we've got these fluorescent that I'm in the process of switching over to, now, I have these fluorescent lights, which I am in the process of converting over to LEDs. I've actually got some videos on doing this. The thing that folks notice about them is that they seem to be less bright. So if you look up here, you don't see nearly as much light around them, because you go over here and you see all kinds of light, right? But think about where that light is going. Is light on the ceiling on my dingy, horrible insulation, which I'll get to in a moment, actually benefiting you? Or is light that actually goes straight down onto the work area benefiting you? There's actually less shadow underneath the LEDs than there is under the fluorescents, because there's more brightness overall that's going in the right direction. So, this insulation, just about everybody who has seen it goes, "Oh no, asbestos." And honestly, that was my reaction as well. But the reality is that this is a blown-on cellulose, which is a mixture of newspapers and a bunch of other stuff that then sits there forever, and it rains off of the ceiling, and you end up with this fluffy stuff all over the place. That's what this leaf blower actually is here to do, is to blow that out. One of these days, if I'm super successful, I'll pay to have this removed, but it's going to be quite a while. So there's a kind of built up second story, which I'll get into later. And the neat thing for future episodes, we have three-phase power, which is going to get used for my Makino three-phase knee mill at some point. There's also a big three-phase fan, and that doesn't currently work. And my regular fan, which is why I'm using the earpieces, and we will find out if this actually works or not later. So, one of the horrors is the lights in here don't really work, so currently I'm making do with a string of LED lights that are plugged into a outlet. So, yep, and now the thing that you've probably already tracked on, yes, that's an open hole going to the outdoors because here's the air conditioner. But something that I didn't realize is that while this hole was big enough, on the one side, on the outside it isn't, so my new air conditioner doesn't actually fit there. And yes, there's also ants. There's tons of ants around here. It's Alabama, and they are just constantly invading, and I'm constantly putting out poison, and you should see what it was when I first got this place. So this room that I'm in here is going to eventually become an electronics lab. I might possibly move a server here as well, but mostly we're talking electronics lab. There is also a very scary bathroom. So, yep, we got a couple of old fluorescents that need to be replaced. We have a wall that was eaten up by termites and such. That was a urinal wall placed in a way that you actually could not fully open the door. And yes, that is a urinal. I get to put things for target practice there. And yes, that's most of the original dirt because I haven't had a chance to get in here with a good scrub bucket and brush yet. Yes, that's, I believe, mildew on the walls here. Like I say, this place was not really taken care of that well before I got it. And the intent is to take care of it in the future. Oh, and so there's the toilet, and we have, no, that's not a giant beetle. Okay. So yeah, I promised you guys a horror movie tour of this place, and yeah, it's kind of a horror show. By the way, one of the cool things that I always enjoy is this Sony camera here. Notice that the lens shifts like an eyeball. That's a kind of stabilization mechanism. So it's a lot smoother than my hand actually is. And the thing that I'm evaluating here with it is actually a Mantis pod. So it's a tripod that folds out. Kind of reminds me of the grip pods that the GIs hated during the Iraq War. If you remember those, they're the little forward broom handle grips that you push a button and then a bipod springs out the bottom. Really, the only thing the guys were using them for, at least according to my friends that were over there, is that you would put it up next to your buddy's head, push the button, and whack him in the forehead with the bipod legs. Bored soldiers do bored things. Anyhow, so yeah, there's a little remote on the back here as well. I haven't actually configured it, but allegedly it will allow you to control your camera remotely. Personally, I just reach up for the controls. All right, now I am going to wander over here. Yes, this is a horrifying chair that was here to begin with, and in order to go into the next room, I'm actually going to need to get some lighting. So let's see. This is a studio light that I actually had to pull off of a video stand because I realized I didn't have any tripods along with me for the other camera. Yeah, the one that I'm looking at right now. Anyhow, so let's see. Gonna improvise this together. And now I have a light. This is one of those V-mount batteries and a D-tap power connector and a Godox LED light panel. It's nice and portable, and it provides a good view of the horrors here. So, steel reinforced doors. Don't know what they were trying to keep trapped here. So this is an old drafting table, and there are more non-functional fluorescent lights, another non-functional AC unit. This bathroom actually is kind of functional, except the toilet leaks massively. So, still need to get this sorted out, and we have a working light. Now, the interesting thing for me with this one is you actually pull down on it to release it to change bulbs. Okay, so now we are getting into the other remaining do not enter ominous room that is full of agricultural processing equipment that was simply abandoned by the agricultural company. Yay. So yeah, this is peanut machinery of some sort. More peanut machinery, all kinds of oddball stuff in here. And now we go ahead and take a hike up the stairs here, and we're going to check out the upstairs. So this gives us a really up close and personal view of this insulation. Also gives us an up close and personal view of wasps sometimes, so I'm watching very carefully here. I don't like wasps, I really don't. So, and this is a little tiny water heater that isn't even wired up. I have no idea if it works. It also doesn't seem to have a flow of water going to it. So I presume that it takes care of the bathroom, but don't know. Oh yes, and if you really just want to go off into the abyss, we've got a latch here, so you could open up this and just wander straight on down. It's probably not tall enough to really kill you, but it'll definitely make life inconvenient for you. And then here's the random stuff, and there was a giant pile of fluorescent lights over there until I pulled them all out and tested them. About 50% were still good, but I'm switching everything over to LED because the power bills. Oh, and this is one of the really neat things about this place. This is a trolley attached to a beam, an I-beam, and I've got a little ratcheting winch that I've used to pick up machines off of the back of my truck and drop them down. It is really cool. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of other tools laying around awaiting use. So my overall plan here is that I want this place to be a nice workshop. I want to be able to do metal work. I want my dad to be able to do woodwork because he enjoys that. A little bit of auto work on an as-needed basis. And then have a little area for video production. This is actually a backdrop stand, and I've got a green screen sitting in the van to hook onto this, so maybe I could do something interesting. Oh, and another bizarre machine here. This is gas powered. It's a mist sprayer that can blast stuff out over a orchard or whatnot. It's how you administer poison or fertilizer or something like that. This is a spool for wire for, you know, doing wiring. And as you can see, I've got a spool, but it's mobile, so I'll end up transplanting some wires back and forth. This is my grandfather's old Craftsman drill press, which has been a staple at his workshop in years gone by, and it's been a staple of mine, and now it's come home to my father and I's shared workshop. And this is my air compressors and sandblasting gear, because I do like to be able to have a good solid coat of paint before I either parkerize, or a good solid base before I parkerize or otherwise treat a metal surface. So that concludes the tour.